Mae Turnbull knew the 123rd Annual Happy Hollow Charity Ladies Auxiliary Bake-Off fundraiser was off to an unusual start the second she bit into Norma Burton's cherry pie, and a cherry bit her back. Goodness gracious me! Ida Mae pulled the fork out of her mouth and came face to face with a row of teeth. Sharp, pointy, yellow. Really, Norma, some sort of critter got mixed up in your fruit. At first she thought it was a mouse, but it snarled and bit, looking for something to sink its teeth into. Ida Mae had certainly never met a mouse like that, or a cherry for that matter. The two white-haired women stared at the tiny, angry thing until it screeched at them and tried to jump right off the fork, aiming for Ida Mae's jugular. Well, I never! Ida Mae was not one to put up with that kind of nonsense. She speared the tiny red menace, sticking it clean through the middle, pinning it to the table with one of the chapter's antique sterling silver dessert forks. It went limp. How curious! Ida Mae took a deep breath, smoothed a few loose hairs back into her tight white bun, ran her hands down her lavender houndstooth suit, and decided to carry on. She was here to judge the championship round of the longest-running and most prestigious dessert-based competition and fundraiser in Shade County. She wasn't about to get ruffled by a wayward cherry. Norma just stared at the cherry in horrified silence. Norma, the texture of your crust was excellent. Flaky, light, but the filling had a little too much bite. Literally. Ida Mae put her white glove to her lip, and when she pulled it back, there was a spot of blood on her fingertips. Unfortunately, I have to disqualify you. I can't give a rosette ribbon to a pie that draws blood, and I couldn't possibly sell it to the public. And the public was waiting. It was a sunny Saturday afternoon in Happy Hollow, Ohio. Half the town was outside the town hall at the bake sale, lined up around the block, waiting for a winner. Ida Mae had to deliver, because she had money to raise. The fountain in the town square needed repairs, and sure, the entries that didn't make it to the final round sold well enough, but slices of the grand champion dessert always fetched the highest price. She had to get these sweets, the ones that didn't bite, outside before the crowd dwindled. So Ida Mae did what she did best, stayed calm and on schedule. She wrote "disqualified" next to Norma's name on a clipboard, then turned to the 4 remaining contestants, each standing behind their own table in a semicircle on the town hall stage. Their eyes were big, wide open, and glued to Norma's unruly cherry. It's all right, Ida Mae decided to reassure everyone, including herself, after the event's unsettling turn. The cherry incident had to be an anomaly. I've never seen anything like that before, and I doubt I'll see it again. Ida Mae glanced at the speared cherry, just to be sure, and breathed easier when she saw it wasn't moving. That's what you get when you use canned filling. Who knows what's in it? Probably made in China. Virginia Ford Davis whispered, pretending she didn't want Norma or anyone else to hear, but loud enough that everyone could. And in a disposable pie plate? Really, what is the world coming to? Virginia stood at table 5 looking like a giant Easter egg, all pink from her hat all the way down to her satin shoes, waiting her turn to be judged. That in itself was unusual in Happy Hollow. Virginia was always the one doing the judging. Everyone, everything, everywhere, all the time, unsolicited, even when there wasn't a contest. Virginia, a word? Ida Mae stepped to Virginia, determined to shush her, but Virginia wasn't one to waste an ear.